Welcome to the Bossy Women's Guide podcast. I'm your host, Stephanie Tulsi Jackson. With me at my bossy table is my co-host, Andrea Everline.
Hey.
Yes. Okay, and we have somebody special for you today. You know, I'm so excited because when I first reached out to Maggie about this, I came up with the whole theme of reinventing your bossy, and I thought about Maggie Noel. I was like, she has reinvented herself so many times. Like, I got to get her on this show. Hey, Maggie.
Hey, everybody.
yes. And before we jump into our guide, because we're going to share our guide with you, you want to go ahead and like us on Facebook, share this post, invite your friends, take some notes because it's about to get lit. We got a lot of gems coming at you, and Maggie's going to share her guide to how she continuously is reinventing her bossy. I mean, take us back a little bit to when you first started playing golf. How old were you?
So my story is, besides what people know me as now, a lot of people know me as the Golf Maggie. Mm-hmm. And the Golf Maggie started at the tender age of 6 years old. I was a little bitty girl out playing golf with her daddy every Saturday. He found this natural gift in me, and he was like, you know what? I think this is a sport I want to keep you in, because come to find out, for females, especially for minority females, you didn't have to be a great golfer in order to get a full ride scholarship at a university. So that light bulb went off in my dad's head, and he was like, you know what, I'm going to enroll you in every single program, every single junior camp, every single summer, whatever, and you're going to play the sport because daddy ain't paying nobody's tuition.
I heard that.
So that's exactly what happened. Absolutely. And that's what happened. And from there, I did have this natural talent. Played for the city of Houston on their select team, traveled at such a young age across really the world at such a young age, playing golf and winning, not just playing, but actually dominating and making a name for myself.
Awesome.
And
that's amazing.
And daddy's dream did come true. I got a scholarship at the University of North Texas, and didn't have to pay a dime for school.
Hello.
Wow, so daddy was happy. I was happy. Yep.
Wow. I read in an article, because, I had to go and research, and I got so fascinated. I was like, wow, she did so much. Like, at 14, that was like a big year for you. You were 1 in 60 chosen to go, where did you go? You went
for
to,
Junior World?
Yeah, for Junior World
was
Championship.
in San Diego. At Torrey Pines, one of the most beautiful, prestigious courses. In the world, really. So as a 14-year-old, being able to travel to one of the most beautiful courses where the greats have played, and being chosen to be a part of that. Junior World, if nobody knows, is a tournament where people from all over the world, kids from all over the world, hence Junior World, come and play in this competition. So aside from it being a competition, it was more so of an experience to be able to play with children or kids my age who share this passion and this love of the sport, all meet at one place at a very, very beautiful course. And if you don't know anything about golf, you need to look up Torrey Pines. It's in California and San Diego, one of the most beautiful courses that you'll probably ever see. So, yeah.
You were one in 160 worldwide.
Yes.
Like,
that's huge.
That's huge.
Big.
14.
Wow. I'm just... When I saw that, I was just like, wow.
I didn't even care if I won or not. I was like, you know what? I got picked. I'm here. It's beautiful. The views are beautiful. It's a gorgeous course. I'm playing with people from all different parts of the world. Forget winning this tournament. I'm just happy to be here.
So did golf, is it a natural thing of yours? Like, that's a natural gift that God gave you to play golf?
That was a natural gift. Ever since I was a little girl, people just saw it in me, and people were really telling my dad, like, hey, you need to keep her in the sport. She's got this natural gift. She's really, really good. And I was really good. Even to this day, I went out and played. I haven't played in a while, but your girl still got it. So. Yeah, you can't lose it when it's natural.
Yeah. Did you ever have a time when you doubted yourself? When you felt like you can do it? How did you deal with those feelings and those thoughts?
So my story goes, when I got to college, I actually developed performance anxiety. And if you don't know what performance anxiety is, it's basically where you practice something so much and it becomes like second nature to you. And then when you step out on the field, all of a sudden your body is just like, you don't know anything. And mind you, I've been playing golf since I was 6 years old. So it was natural for me. So to be at a collegiate level, where I've been recruited. Now I have a team to be, playing with. Yeah. It was a pressure that I had never dealt with before, because in school I went to all minority schools. I was the golf team because nobody else was playing golf, as serious as I was anyway. And when I got to college, there were 5, 6, 7 other girls just as good as me, and I have to compete for a spot to travel everywhere now. Wow. So that was something I wasn't used to. So I dealt with it in performance anxiety. So it got to the point where I was so nervous to play that I wasn't able to play at my ability. Mm-hmm. And so that's where I really started to doubt myself and say, you know what, is this really for me anymore? Is this what I really want to do anymore? As a matter of fact, I even quit.
Yeah.
I quit playing golf after I made that last shot at conference my senior year. I was like, forget this, screw this whole golf thing. I can't take it anymore. Mentally it's draining, emotionally it's draining. It was probably the most depressing time of my life, where something that I've known for my whole life has now basically turned against me.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Doubted myself and was like, you know what, this is it. But then your girl came back.
But what sparked that fire to come back? Like what happened?
So what happened was I I stopped playing for about a year, I went into corporate world and I started working, and I was like, you know what? This ain't for me. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm supposed to be on somebody's TV and between somebody's ropes, playing golf on somebody's professional tour, making somebody's millions of dollars. And I was like, this is not Maggie. This is not what I'm destined to do. I got to get back out there. Mm-hmm. So I thought that after taking a year break and giving my mind and my emotions and my feelings a break from, not being able to produce the scores that I was used to producing, I was like, you know what? Corporate world will always be there. Let me give it another shot. Let me try it one more time. Let's see if my body has, kind of refreshened itself. And I was like, you know what? I don't have any kids. I'm not married. I don't have any responsibilities. Mm-hmm. Let's drop what I'm doing. Screw this. Let's go give it another shot. Mm-hmm. Okay, because I'd hate to go in life thinking, damn, what if
you never did it? Like, what if you never tried it again?
I never tried it again, or on that level anyway.
Yeah.
So I packed up I was living in Dallas because I went to school in North Texas, and I packed everything up and was like, put in my 2 weeks. Hey, thank you for this opportunity here, but I'm heading back to Houston to pursue something. And so I did. I went back home. Came back to Houston and tried the professional level. I did the professional level, got scholarships. As a matter of fact, interesting fact, my very first tournament coming back from taking that whole year off was actually the Texas Women's State Amateur Tournament.
Yes, I saw that one. I saw that. I saw that picture of you. So cute.
I went from barely making the cut to the second stage of the tournament. Like, I was like second to last for making the cut. And I ended up winning the entire tournament.
I saw that.
That's crazy.
What did that do to you? Because first you have this like, oh my gosh, I have to overcome this. I thought I was defeated, and you came back and you won that big,
and that's a huge tournament. Like we're talking about women from all over the state.
Yeah, I googled that. That's that's really big. Like,
that was huge.
Held the winner.
So no more anxiety.
Well, yes, there was, but let me tell you, it was
obviously you killed that.
It was a struggle because the anxiety was still there, but it was a struggle. But somehow I made it to the top. Like I said, I went from barely making the cut to winning the entire thing. Yes. And I'm talking about, this tournament was hours and hours and hours long. It was like 36 holes in one day sometimes.
In a
dress.
It is.
That's a bad picture.
Yep. So that was one of those moments where I was kind of reinventing myself and coming back into the golf world, as a matter of fact. But what that win did for me was, it said, damn, maybe I can still do this. Like, oh snap. I liked all the attention I was getting. I was getting write-ups and papers, and I picked up a sponsor to pay for basically my whole life as I try to pursue this whole golf on a professional level thing. And so that opened up so many doors for me.
And how old were you again?
I was 20. This was 2011. So that was 7 years ago. So 23.
Oh, that was soon.
Yep.
What did all those years of playing golf at that level where you're dominating, what did that teach you about Maggie and what she can achieve in her life?
So let me tell you this.
Her business.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me say this. I don't come from a rich family. I don't come from my as a matter of fact, my parents were never married, as far as I know. Let's see. My parents weren't rich. They were never married. As a matter of fact, I lived with my mom. My dad, he would have me every weekend. If anybody doesn't know, the game of golf is such an expensive sport. That's why they call it the white man sport. That's just what it is. because it's very expensive. So as a little minority girl from Missouri City, Texas, that went to Krista McCullough Middle School, Ridgegate, and Ridgemont Elementary School, really, my family could not afford for them alone, for me to play that sport. So in my junior golf days, I had a lot of help. I mean, from not just from the city of Houston, but I had wealthier families that were dumping their time and dumping their money into me.
Wow.
Who were buying me golf clubs and who
That
helped.
stuff expensive. I was in Dick's Sporting Goods,
absolutely.
and I mean, $98 for a shirt, and
exactly.
I was like,
think about a set of golf clubs.
Yes,
You're talking about a couple $1,000s.
Wow.
So we necessarily could not afford that. But I had, like I said, wealthy families that basically adopted me and were dumping money into helping me buy the proper equipment, who signed me up and made me a child on their memberships at country clubs so that I can have access to practice on a good facility.
wow.
Who helped my dad purchase a car so I can drive to practice. You know, things like that my family could not necessarily afford. And so my dad would always tell me, Maggie, you know, you're very blessed. Like, you are astronomically blessed and very much favored. So anytime you can give back, anytime you can volunteer. He was very big. Like, every summer I had to volunteer 100 hours every single summer. He said, anytime you have an opportunity to give back, whether it's your time, whether it's whatever it is, make sure you do it, because as easy as those blessings came to you, they can easily be taken away. So you need to make sure that you're volunteering, you're spending, I mean, I was spending summers at the Children's Museum, volunteering, doing, I forgot what it was called, Future something of Kids of America. I forgot what it's called, but anything that took time for me to volunteer, even if it was to help kids. And
just with teaching.
Just
that's
teaching.
where the teaching came
absolutely.
in from. Yeah.
Teaching, absolutely. Then he made sure that I was doing it. So that's definitely something that I learned at that age. And I think that built and helped me build me to be where I am today, because I am a very philanthropical person. I like to give back. I like to make
especially
sure
for your birthdays. Like, every year I notice for your
Absolutely.
birthday, this is what you do. You
There's
have
a
a give
drive.
back. It's a drive, you know, and that's really big with the gratitude, you know, and
Absolutely.
everything that you were brought up on. Okay, guys, so we gave y'all 15 minutes of Miss Maggie Noel. Just a little tease. So we're going to end our Facebook Live, but guess what? The full show is going to be available a little bit later. So you'll get a chance to catch the rest of our Bossy Women's Guide to Reinventing Your Bossy with Maggie Noel. Thank you guys for tuning in. And hey, if you still have any questions, I'm still looking in the inbox, comment, and I will ask Maggie. We'll throw it to her and she'll throw it back to you guys and get those questions answered. But thank you guys for tuning in, and we're going to continue this because we got some bossy-ish to talk about.
Let's do it.
Yeah. We keep rolling. Okay. So during that time, I always want to know people's defining moment in their life that brought them to where they are now, you know, because it took you going through all of that for you to be who you are today. What was your defining moment in your life?
I can say that there's probably several moments that I've had that were like, oh, snap, you know what, that might be something you're destined to do. Or, you know what, this might be something that's going to guide you to the next step to where you're supposed to be. I would probably say my ultimate defining moment was when I got a letter from Golf Digest. And I don't know how I never applied for this award, or I've never sent in any type of application or anything like that. But randomly, as a matter of fact, I got it at the job I was working at, which was Golf Tech. I got a letter that said Golf Digest, and it said, you've been selected, or you've been named one of the best young teachers in America.
And I noticed that. I was like, wow. I was like, how many times did you win this? From 2014 to 2017? You were selected. Wow.
I was selected. Like I said, I didn't see it coming from anywhere. And really the reason why I was teaching golf was because at one point I did decide, you know what, maybe even playing again, giving it another shot. Maybe I'm just done with it. Maybe I've fulfilled my purpose with golf. I want to try something else. So that's when I decided to move to California for like literally 13 days. Whole different show. I
gotta know what happened.
That was a different show. Not even a full 2 weeks, but yeah.
Maggie, talk about California. What happened?
What happened was I decided at that point I didn't want to play golf anymore. I wanted to dive into maybe some modeling, maybe some acting, some commercial acting, and I literally moved to California for, I kid you not, 13 days.
13 days.
13 days, and I said, forget this. So
what brought you back though?
What brought me back? The real story?
The real story. Like, much as you want want to share at the Bossy table? Share.
The real story was when I moved back, or when I decided to stop playing for the second time. I was at a very vulnerable point in my life. I was very, very indecisive. Do I want to continue playing, or do I want to try this whole modeling thing? I got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm gonna bartend a little bit, save up some money, because I decided I didn't want to play golf anymore. So I had to work somehow. So I was bartending. I said, let me move to California. I want to go out there. I had an agency signed. I had a management team signed. I sold all my furniture. I got rid of everything.
I want to rewind, Maggie.
Yeah.
So how did you move with already booked agency? Did you know that you were going there for modeling right away?
Yeah, I had taken a couple trips prior to and already had things lined up. So
that's some. I mean, like, I'm sorry, but that's some bossy shit.
That's some bossy shit. Like
it seems like you're always just on your shit.
Yeah.
You're ready, you're focused, and you're just like, look, I'm finna just go ahead and line this up.
I've always
you truly believe in yourself. Like, that's crazy.
I really believe that. Go where the wind takes you.
Yeah, for real.
I'm not scared. Like,
That's
what am I
awesome.
scared for? You got one. My mindset is whatever I touch is gonna turn to gold.
Hey,
it doesn't
that's
matter.
a good mindset to have. You got to be like that.
Right. It doesn't matter if I stick with it or not. But if I'm gonna go for it, I'm gonna give it 100%. So I gave it 100% until I got there. I sold everything in my house. I got rid of all my furniture. I was like, I'm just gonna go there, start fresh, start new, whatever. I did that, and then I was like, Cali's not for me. This ain't me. This isn't. I'm not like I'm not a Barbie girl. I'm not. It was just so superficial for me. And I'm from Houston, Texas. Like I'm very Southern hospitality. You're a Southern girl, and so I was just like, man, this is just not for me. So I literally left everything I acquired there and came right back to Houston. Wow. So imagine I have nothing. I have absolutely nothing.
Starting all over.
I left all my stuff before I left all my stuff when I got there. I came back with some boxes of clothes and said, okay, what's next? So that's when I got into the teaching side. That's when I got into the teaching side of golf. And I said, you know what? This is what I've known my whole life. I don't want to just give it up. It doesn't even matter if I'm playing or not. Maybe I can go on the other side of the golf swing and actually teach it. Because not only do I know the golf swing, but I have something to offer that's even more important when it comes to golf, and that's the mental side.
Ooh.
My downfall with golf was the mental side. That's what the whole anxiety and performance anxiety was. Right. So I didn't have just the ability to teach my students, hey, this is how you do a proper golf swing. Hey, this is how you correct your problems. But hey, let's talk about the mental side of it. What are you thinking when you're on the golf course? What happens when you mess up on a hole? How do you recover from it and not carry that negativity from one shot to the next? So I had a whole different perspective on what I could offer my students, because again, golf it's literally what they say. It's 90% mental, 10% skill.
Yeah,
that's what golf is,
and that's what Tiger Woods went through that whole time when everybody was looking like, wow, why he can't just get it together? It's because it was a mental thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he just couldn't overcome it at some point, and he talked about it. I mean,
Stephanie, it's kind of like when we went to Top Golf and you just couldn't hit that ball.
Maggie, listen,
and you were just like really mad.
I think in my head that I got it like that, and that I could swing, and I'm athletic, and so I actually get there and do it. Yeah.
And
I psyched myself out. I was like, oh, I got this. I'm good at this. And
golf
then when
is really hard.
Yeah, golf is hard.
Yeah, it's real hard.
It's almost like, like, how do you know this one hole? Like, it's this hole, and you're just, I mean, I'm strong. I can hit the ball.
But see, what you learn about golf is not about how strong you are.
Exactly, right? So I'm like, I know how to hit the ball, but how do I get it in that hole?
Right.
Like, you know?
Yeah,
so
you missed your swing more than I did.
Oh, yeah.
And that's the common misconception of golf is people think, oh, I'm a man. I can swing real hard.
Yeah.
It's not about that. It's about your mechanics. It's about your timing.
Absolutely.
It's about all
You got
that.
a good backhand, too. I saw your form. I
took
a picture of it. It's in my phone, my screenshot.
I got that $1 million
I was
swing.
like, wow, look at her form. Like, it's amazing. And
practice,
you had a video and you had it going back and swinging slow. Yeah, I was like, yeah, she's going to teach me how to do that.
Yeah, anytime.
I do want to say this. When I read about one of the experiences you went through with anxiety, and it was like, I think it was in the newspaper. It was an article you did, and you talked about anxiety and how you battled with it. And it was one of your decisions to cross over to teaching. Do you still deal with anxiety? Are you still having?
Yes.
Yeah. How do you overcome it now? Because right now you're in the world where you have your own new business, Mpressive Faces, and you're also teaching people how to do this and make their own income. What I've noticed about you, every area you get into, you tap into, you teach somebody else
you're
how to
teaching
do
and
it.
She's sewing big time back into other people's lives too.
Yeah, that goes back to the whole give back. You know, when it comes to this whole beauty world, hell, I'm learning I should have been this a long time ago because chicks pay for some of the craziest stuff to stay pretty. But what I've learned is that innately and within myself, I think I'm a natural teacher.
You are.
And I enjoy teaching. One of the things that I can truly take away from my lessons and from anything that I've ever taught is that my students actually learn something. And I think I have the ability to teach it to them in a manner where they actually soak in the information and they actually learn something. It's not just, oh, what did she say again? Oh, I don't get it. I put it in a way where you get it. Okay. Not only that, but we have a lot of fun. Whether I'm teaching you a golf lesson or I'm teaching you how to do somebody's eyebrows, you're going to have fun learning this concept. So I think just within myself, I'm just a natural born teacher in anything. If I teach you the one thing I can't teach you is is how to do your hair properly because I struggle on a daily basis with trying to control it. But
that's another time.
Yeah, but you're right. So anytime anything that I usually get into, I like, it's part of the whole giving back thing. I don't want to just soak in all the information for myself. I want to spread the word. Absolutely. There's a lot of money in this stuff. Let me teach you how you can benefit off of it and how I did it and how you can too.
To someone who's starting over in their life, what's your advice for them?
I would say, well, my thing is that I was never afraid. Like I said, I can drop everything at a drop of a dime and just start over. Okay. I always had the mindset that, like I said, anything that I touch, it's going to turn to gold. I don't care if I'm selling you some coffee. I don't care if I'm selling you this awesome mug that's got not water in it.
Hey, it's water in it, Maggie.
It's water. You're right. I don't care if I'm going to be offering you a service. Anything that I'm going to sell you, it's going to work. And
know what you have to offer.
Know what you have to offer. Not only that, but if I tell you that I'm the best, then damn it, I'm the best.
And I live by that.
And you're gonna know, and you're gonna know that I'm the best, and you're gonna believe that I'm the best. So I will always
make
be
people
successful.
believe what you already know about yourself.
Absolutely. You can look around any of my business that I've ever done. Hey, I am the number one.
Yeah. Same thing when you did taxes, you was killing it.
I am the number one tax service provider. I am the number one voted. I am the best. I am the one you need to go to. Yeah. And people listen to me and people believe me because not only because I have a good service to offer.
You're trustworthy in the fact that you've been consistent in making sure that everything you do touch does turn to gold.
Absolutely. It didn't matter if I'm in it for a short amount of time. Whatever time I'm gonna spend with it, I'm gonna be the best. So I'm not afraid to fail. I'm more so looking forward to, damn, I can't wait to make this sale, or I can't wait to see what my numbers look like today, or I can't wait to see how awesome this new service and this new business is going to be. That's what I'm saying to myself.
I see you still, you're adding more to your business right now. Y'all doing lashes. You're not stopping there.
No.
You keep adding something else that's going to make your business.
Ice cream parlor in the back.
I just told you before we aired, I said, hey, I'm going to buy some champagne because it's going to be a turn-up session at my studio tomorrow, which is probably frowned upon, but you got to celebrate.
You go to the nail shop, they give you wine, at least like, let me get my eyebrows done and have some wine.
There you go. That's it.
But
I always say that too. A lot of people, they take thinking that you're the best is pretty cocky, right? And I said sometimes you got to move around your ego just a little bit, let people know who you really are.
Forget the ego.
And
ego pays.
It's my thing is it, and that's where I'm going. It does pay, and my thing is that sometimes it moves around tables for you, and it opens up doors. I'm big on, I don't care who you are. I don't care what you come from, what family you come from. I'm the best at what I do. I'm going to be the best at what I'm going to do. And you continuously show that. From golf to with the Mpressive faces right now. And then also with how you give back to your community. You don't just half give. You give whole. You give. Everything you do is so unselfish. That's what I would say.
That's
it's
key.
Just completely unselfish.
That's the key to being successful, I believe, is giving back.
It's completely unselfish.
Gratitude.
And that's the key to continuously receiving. The reason why I've been so blessed is because I'm constantly blessing. And if you're a constant blessing to somebody, then you're going to constantly be getting blessings yourself. And that's just the way I see it. And I can live by it. I can attest to it. I'm a living proof of that. It's real. It's absolutely real.
You're doing a great job. Thank you for all you do in the community, Maggie.
What other superpowers you have? I mean, because you.
Well, let me see. Let me see what I'm going to pull out.
What else can you? What else are you? What's next for you?
I'm
like,
a damn
what are
good
you,
cook.
Hey, I be watching you. Like you. Is that like a little pot where you high steam stuff? What is it? It's a deep. What is a deep fryer? You do what is it?
Pressure cooker.
Pressure cooker. I was like, what the heck?
Pressure
is she
cooker is
cooking that
awesome.
Meat in?
Everybody should have a pressure cooker.
Yeah, I was like, I need to figure out what this is and add it to my kitchen. Yeah,
that's how you can make oxtails in just a couple hours.
Girl, you be
cooking all day thing. I do.
Did you make sushi yourself the other day? Was that
No.
you? Okay,
I did not make sushi myself, but I love me some uchis. I love me some kata rabata. I love me some sushi. But
what's next for you? What do you see coming up?
What's next for Maggie? I think continuously working on my brand and adding new services, possibly opening new locations and branching out on a franchise level. We have a lot of inquiries on, hey, do you have any franchising opportunities?
Wow.
So
you've built a brand that people also want to buy into and invest into.
Let me tell you,
That's
we have
amazing.
clients. We have clients and we have students from all over the world that come and visit
I mean,
us.
you're traveling, and then you have people who also come in. Like, I'm watching to see, like, people are actually, one girl, she had a testimony. I saw that she traveled, like, scraped up her last of her money to get here to be in your class.
Awesome.
Yeah. I was like, wow, like, that's
it's
major
heartwarming.
Stuff. Yeah.
It's heartwarming when people say, hey, I just traveled from California. Hey, I just traveled from, we had a student from South Africa that came from South Africa to come to my class. Even today, we had clients from Chicago, Michigan, and Miami yesterday. So we have clients that travel abroad just to come and step foot into our studio.
And you're adding more classes because the one that you had that was, I guess it was coming up before, is already sold out. You have
March
one
is
coming
full.
up. March is completely full.
April's, I think there's one seat left in the first April class. We have more classes in April. But it's
that's a blessing.
moves.
Like you're continuously having to add just to meet the demand.
Yep.
You know,
we just moved into a bigger space because my place before couldn't accompany all the clients that we have coming in, along the students.
Wow.
So we may even have to move again at the end of this lease.
Do you just have a moment in the day when you look at this and say, wow, it was a decision I made to just go for it and not have any type of fear?
She said earlier that everything she touches is great.
I know, I'm just saying, but did you just have a moment when you looked at it? Because even when things are happening and you see it happening before you and you're like, wow, you still have that moment when you're like, you didn't know it was going to be this big.
I can tell you where I was. I was in Atlanta. I was at a conference. It was a conference for business owners and getting you excited and all that good stuff. And I got my eyebrows done. And when I got my eyebrows done, I had a moment where I was like, you know what? I think this is something that I want to look into as a hobby. You know, let me just do this for fun. My cousins, my family, my friends. And when I was sitting there in Atlanta, I said, man, that seems pretty freaking awesome. Like, I was getting pumped up to look into doing something as a potential hobby. That was it. And I just saw it as, hey, this looks fun. Let me try it out. But I was so excited when I was in Atlanta. I was like, damn, I can't wait to get home to, like, look at flights and try to find a place to learn this technique and all this good stuff. So that was that moment where I was excited. And then when I went and did my training, when I was there, I was like, damn, I can't wait to get back home to start doing it. As a matter of fact, I had people already booked and paid deposits before I even learned how to do this technique.
Oh, wow.
So that's how excited I was. I was like, hey, guys, look at what I'm doing. Of course, some people were smart and were like, well, can I see some of your work? And I was like, oh, well, I don't have any. And then there are some people that are like, oh, I don't even care. Here's my money. Here's my deposit. I want to get this done by you.
They just know the Maggie brand.
They just know the Maggie brand. Listen, again, why some people were booking with me, I don't know, but they did. So that got me really excited. When I started seeing the phone calls coming through, let me tell you, my very first week of announcing what I was doing, I was booked 2 months out.
Wow.
I was booked 2 months out. My very first week of even saying, hey, guys, I'm officially doing this. Mm-hmm. And so when I look back now at where I started in my house. You're not supposed to, but I started in my house.
You gotta start somewhere.
We all start somewhere. I started doing this out of my apartment in the gallery area, my little 1-bedroom apartment.
The lady who does Spanx, she started in her house. Like she had
started
orders.
in my house.
Everything started in the living room.
It started in the living room, and so when I'm sitting in my office and I see all the technicians that I have, when I see all the people filling up my waiting room, when I see the phone, when I hear the phone ringing and I'm working on a client, I'm like, oh, that's somebody calling to book an appointment. Oh, I see them people coming in. I see, oh, that's another phone call. Oh, that's another student that signed up. I'm talking to my receptionist, Cindy. That's another student. Okay, good, great. So when I start seeing all this stuff coming in and all the people in my office wearing my shirt, I'm like, damn, I started this as just a little idea and a little hobby. So I've always said to myself,
I don't think you ever, Maggie, come on now, kill it. I don't think you started this as a hobby, because everything sitting at the table with you right now, I don't think it was started as a hobby. You're in Atlanta, right? You said that it was like your skin, you had goosebumps.
I did have goosebumps.
You didn't start this as a hobby. You knew what you wanted to do without knowing what you wanted to do. It sounds like.
And listen, I was never aware of how awesome the beauty world was. I didn't know how demanding it was. It's a $1 billion industry.
Yes. $1 billion.
Yes.
So this was actually, there was a time where I was still giving golf lessons and transitioning into my new business. And I was like, damn, do I want to make $150 today, or do I want to make $1,000 today?
Wow.
You know what? Forget these golf lessons. I think I know what I want to focus on. But in my head, it was a hobby. It was like, oh, this looks like fun, something I could do, because I had other businesses. I was still teaching golf lessons. I still had my tax office. I was like, I'll just do this for fun on the weekends, here and there. But when I saw the people calling, that's when I was like, oh, snap. I'm onto something here.
Yeah.
I started counting the money. I honestly felt like a drug dealer at first. I was like, damn, I've never seen this much money in one day.
Racking it up.
So I was like, all right, I got to do this the right way. I got to get a place. I got to do everything legally and get an office and get some help, because I couldn't answer phone calls while I was working on a client. So I was like, okay, it's time to, we doing something here.
Okay, so you're in your living room. All right, take me in your living room, okay?
Yep.
I want you to really take us into your living room.
In my living room.
Because there's a dreamer right now that needs Maggie. They need your story. So take us in your living room when you had an aha moment, and what exactly at that moment when you said, it's time to get a place.
Yep.
What did you feel, and how did you move? Like, what was your next step for you to understand, like, okay, I'm on to something, and I really need to get going now because it's growing faster than I thought it would.
This is when I knew it was time. When I was working on a client and my phone was hooked up to the Bluetooth. I had music playing, mind you. And I threw away my entire dining area. I put it out for people to pick up. I said, hey, take this because I need a space. I had my living room and I had a little wall divider in my dining room where I was doing my procedures. And I knew I was onto something when my music kept stopping. I was like, why the hell is my music stopping? Like, what's going on? It was people calling my phone. And I'm working with a client. So I have gloves on. I can't grab my phone to answer phone calls and to book appointments. That's when and it kept stopping. That's the thing. I was like, damn, that was a good song. Like, why does my music keep on stopping? And so when I looked at my phone after my client, I would have like 15, 20 missed phone calls.
Wow.
And I was like, damn, I got to call all these people back and book their appointment. That's when I was like, okay, I got to hire somebody.
It's time to grow it.
So I have a cousin, and I would call her before I actually decided to move and hire somebody. I had a cousin. I was like, hey, cousin, April.
You made that phone call.
Right. I made that phone call to my favorite cousin. I love you, April. And I said, hey, and it was summertime. So she's in education, so she was off. So I was like, hey, cousin, what you doing today? Can you come over and help me? Can you take some of these phone calls and book some of these appointments while I'm working? And she would. And so after I'm working with a client, she's like, yeah, so I booked about 7 clients just now. And she would give me a whole report on people that called and what messages they had. So I was like, damn, okay. Let's go to dinner. And this is me just thinking. I'm like, okay, so I have to find an office now. I have to get out of my apartment because, number one, you're not supposed to be doing business inside of your apartments. Number 2, technically and legally, you're not supposed to be doing this technique in your house. So it got to the point.
But we all got to start somewhere.
We all got to start somewhere.
Sometimes you got to go.
Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And I got to a point where my clients were confused on how to get to my unit. So they were going to the leasing office saying, hey, do you know where I can find Maggie with Mpressive faces? And they're like, what are you here for? What are you doing? And I started getting packages. I was in the office making prints on aftercare sheets, consent forms. And they're like, damn, we see you a lot more. People coming in here looking for you. I was like, you know what? It's time to find a place.
It's time to go.
It's
you
time
already
to
knew.
go. Yeah, I already knew it.
Wow.
You know, the most beautiful thing that I heard, like, throughout this whole story that you're telling us is that every part of your life you've had your how people. Like you knew your why. You didn't know, like your why was there, right? But you had your how people. Even when you talked about April being there, when you talked about your dad sowing that seed, when you talked about these people when you were growing up, also sowing these seeds in your life, you've always had your how people. And I just want to just like leave a little gem on the fact that when you're operating in your why, you're truly operating in your why, your how people are just there. Like God will send, and that's where your favor comes from. Yes. So God will send that favor, and it's like, so because you said yes, you submitted and you surrendered to the fact that like, I'm actually about to do this, and I'm going to do it, and I'm going to do it well. Right? And so I think it's beautiful that you were operating in your why, and your tribe, your how people were there on just a phone call away, you know? And I think that's a beautiful thing when just to tell a dreamer right now, or some bossy woman that is in her living room right now that's creating,
that's listening right now, that's to the Bossy Woman's God
and
podcast.
That's creating and not understanding her bossy, right?
Yeah.
Maggie Noel just said she operated in her why. I'm gonna sum it all up.
Summit. Go, and girl.
It truly aligned her with her how people. And that matters because you could not carry that by yourself. And that goes to show that we all need each other. And that's that quote I always say. It is almost, we have to use each other, but we can't misuse each other. And so that's so important. And what you've been doing is operating your why. And God just sent you your favor and your how people.
And I always say
that's why you're celebrating with that champagne tomorrow.
That's right.
That's exactly. What in a place, because growth is coming.
I always said, I was even telling a client this today. It was a male client, as a matter of fact. He's young, and we were just talking about jobs. And I was like, yeah. He was like, how'd you get started in this? I was like, actually, or he said, how did you find out about this? I was like, actually, it found me. I was like, what's funny is, funny story, literally, in high school, I used to have a pair of tweezers because I'm a plucker and a pimple popper. I used to carry around a pair of tweezers in my backpack, and I would pluck girls' eyebrows in the bathrooms for $5.
Girl,
for $5.
He was already in you.
I was already in me. So,
everything that's already in, I believe this, I'm firm. God has already put everything inside of you. And you just have to get it out. You have to put it out.
And I was like, it's just funny. It's full circle. And now I went from charging for $5 to now $600 for an appointment. And
that's amazing.
And I was like, dang, that's why I'm not mad about not playing golf anymore. Because, of course, I have my faithful followers and people that have been with me from the beginning of time saying, hey, are you playing golf anymore? And I'm like, no, I'm fulfilling another purpose in my life right now.
Because you have to keep evolving. You have to keep when it's time for you to grow to the next thing, you can't be afraid.
And I'm not afraid to switch. I've gone from golf to taxes to brows. They have absolutely nothing to do with each other at all.
What's his name? Tony Robbins says, when you're dealing with products, don't be so overly committed to it that you stick to it and you don't come out of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, don't get so bought on this and say that this is the only thing that I have, because it's going to limit you what you can grow to.
Absolutely.
And that's just one of the big, it's one of the big business, concepts that a lot of people fail at. They get stuck on a product and they believe in it. Yeah. And customers are not loyal nor faithful. They're going to go where they need to go based on their services.
The other thing that I also have in my head is that I feel like everything that I do is not the final destination.
Wow.
Like, or if you're a kid and you have dreams of being a football player or whatever, maybe football player isn't necessarily your purpose, but maybe something in the football field is. So if you don't become that football player or that athlete that you want to be, but maybe you're a commentator for the NFL, maybe that's more so your purpose. So don't be put down or beat yourself up because you didn't become that thing that you wanted to be. I always say everything that I'm doing is just a pit stop for what's next. What's next? So that way, if I decide to change my career, change my jobs, I'm not teaching golf anymore.
You're not down on yourself.
You're not down on yourself.
Some people just stay in that space. Like I hear a lot of people who played professional sports and they're retired and they stay in that place and they have so much, I'm not doing this no more, and they don't know how to get out of that space and reinvent themselves
because they're sad.
Yeah, and they self-loathe. They stay in that place because I really believe that when we're reinventing ourselves, like, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You can find somebody who's doing what you want to do and their life excites you. It makes you a little jealous in a little bit, not in a bad way, but that's when you know that you want to do something, when you're around whatever they're doing, and become a student. Become a student wherever it is that they are doing right and excelling it and dominating. Become a student and spend your time mastering it, and don't stop. Because you never complete a master. You're always mastering something.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you guys. It's been our time on the Bossy Woman's Guide podcast. Thank you to our guest, Maggie Noel. Yay! Woo! You know what? This show, I tell you, like, I really got to go back and take some notes because there was so many just intricate parts of it, that left me like, wow, like, this is amazing. And if you're listening, go ahead and subscribe to us on iTunes, Spreaker, and we're also on Google Play. And this has been the Bossy Woman's Guide to Reinventing Your Bossy. Hey.
Hey.